Taki Moore makes $1.7 million per month from his YouTube channel without going viral. Now, the craziest part is since he started the channel, he got rid of his entire sales team, and now the videos do the selling for him. The question is, how does this man do it? Well, in this video, I'm going to be showing you the exact things that Taki did to turn his YouTube channel into a magnet for his dream clients. And then I'm also going to be breaking down the 4 reasons it works so that you, the lovely people in the audience, can turn your own YouTube channels into something that actually makes money. So the first thing that Taki does is actually having nothing to do with YouTube strategy, but has everything to do with making a channel that attracts an audience of buyers. One of the things Taki says is people don't buy coaching, they buy coaches. And if you spend any amount of time watching Taki's video, I think you'll realize why so many people are buying this coach. Because when you're watching his videos, he looks like he's having a fun time.
When I was teaching, my energy was great, like it is right now. Like, I love this stuff. I really want to help you. I'm passionate about it. My energy is awesome.
Taki is enjoying what he's doing, and it's a surprise that part of his kind of life motto is that he wants to be useful and he wants to have fun. And I think that's the perfect culmination of the videos that he's putting out. They are useful and they're a lot of fun. So one of the underrated strategies to build an audience of buyers and get people connected to you is not only focus on the information you're giving them, of course, make it good information, but on top of that, if you can share a little bit about you and be that likable character, that's actually a great way that you can build your brand. Because when people are watching your videos, they actually start feeling like you're becoming friends, which is such a weird dynamic on the internet. Like you can be watching someone and you're like, you know what? I feel like I know Taki. I feel like we're friends. But Taki more than likely will never know who you are unless you leave a comment on his video. Maybe you'll get a response, something like that. But again, he's building an incredible amount of likeage. I don't even think that's a word, but people get to know, like, and trust him through his YouTube channel. And that's one of the main reasons why he's been able to build such a successful business around the channel. Now, if only being likable was the only thing that you needed, so many of you would be rich and famous. But unfortunately, there's a little bit more to making a business that is doing $1 million a month than just being likable. And I think that comes to the second thing that Taki does, and it also makes him basically impossible to copy. So one of the things that Alex Ramosi says is say what only you can say. Now that sounds super deep, but basically what it means is in your YouTube videos, instead of just talking about what other people can talk about, giving the same generic information as everyone else, run it through the filter of you, your experiences, your stories, because then it's going to be basically impossible for you to copy. And again, if you watch Taki's videos, you're going to see this in basically every point that he is teaching. He's also tying that to a metaphor or an illustration or some kind of crazy story from his life that backs up the point.
This is from a mini course that we just shot that will come out soon. And you can see it's got 4 videos, and each one of them has a really clear old way and a clear new way.
So not only are his videos useful, but how you make someone remember you is partially using storytelling. Because instead of trying to cram 8 different tips in a video, if you can tell one story that encapsulates that entire idea, just from a human psychology standpoint, people are much more likely to remember the story rather than a list of 8 different points. Also, from a YouTube retention perspective, if you want to keep people watching, one of the best things you can do is also use storytelling. Because as humans, as soon as we hear a story, we automatically want to hear the end of it and see what actually happens. So number 2 is he is sharing his own experiences. And for Taki, not only is he sharing those fun stories, but he's also doing another thing that allows him to build a massive amount of credibility. He is sharing his credibility and selling without selling. What do I mean here? So in Taki's videos, he does a lot of sharing his own personal stories and is honestly kind of self-deprecating, which is fun. But on the other hand, he also talks about the high levels of things that he's doing.
In fact, this system is working so well for us right now that we haven't had a single salesperson, a single sales call for 13 months. And yet the number of new clients joining us in Black Belt and Boardroom and clients every single month is literally 5 times more than it was when we had a team of 9.
Obviously, it's pretty clear that Taki knows his stuff. So the more that he shares those case studies, he shares those client results, then not only are you getting the useful content, but you're realizing, hey, this guy's working with a lot of different people. So therefore, he's a credible person that I also want to work with. Now, inside the video I was watching for research for this video, Taki also gave probably the best advice for anyone who's wanting to make serious money with their channel, because it's related to the two most common problems that I see for so many people that is stopping them from making a good amount of money from the YouTube channel. The first is Taki says you have to be prolific. Now, when he said that, I'm like, okay, like you have to say fancy stuff. But I looked it up, and prolific does not mean fancy. It actually means doing it on a regular basis, being consistent. So he said, funny quote from the video is, he said, most people are at best inconsistent, where most people aren't actually doing anything, but at best they are inconsistent. So he says you want to be prolific. Because if you're not making enough content and you're not getting in front of enough people, no matter how good your offer is or how good your service is, if you don't have those leads coming in, you're never going to be able to scale to the levels that you want. But on the other hand, not only does he say you have to be prolific, but he pairs it with one of my favorite Taki-isms. He said you have to be prolific and you have to be dangerous. Now, when I heard this, I'm like, Taki, what are we talking about here? We got to be dangerous. And he gives the example of Alex Hormozi. And I think this idea of being dangerous is also the same reason why some people from the very beginning grow pretty quickly and have a big audience, while other people continue to post on the platform year after year and don't see very much growth at all. So what does it mean to be dangerous? So dangerous in Taki's world is all about having something to say, having a point of view, having something that you actually believe in. Because there's so many people that are very middle of the line, don't give their own opinion, don't give their own take on anything, or there's no one that necessarily loves them, no one that hates them, just in kind of the middle of the line. And that can work, but if you can be a little bit more polarizing figure, or just have someone that truly has a stance that they want to take and information that they want to get out there, like an Alex Hormozi, then you're going to grow so much faster. So Taki says, if you can be prolific, excuse me, microphone. If you can be prolific and you can be dangerous, those two things is how you get paid with your YouTube channel. Now, like I said, Taki has been on YouTube for a while now, but especially when he started, he realized that doing this whole YouTube thing and making videos is a lot harder than people make it out to be. There's so many different skills that you have to learn. And that's why in this video, what I do is I break down my entire system and how I make videos much, much easier than I did before. So if you're wanting to make YouTube content, be prolific and be dangerous, watch that video.